Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Time to Hunt, a Korean thriller action hybrid from 2020. In a future version of South Korea, Jun-seok gets out of prison for a previous heist he and his friends were involved in, and the currency, the Korean won, has crashed massively, making the haul of their last job effectively worthless. Now, Jun-seok proposes one last heist to his best friends in order for the trio to escape from their miserable situations. Their target is an illegal gambling house which stores hefty stacks of US dollars. The trio recruits Sang-soo, who currently works in the gambling house. Now, after getting firearms from Bong-sik, a friend Jun-seok knew in prison, the quartet proceeds with the heist, but a hitman is on their trail. So the story in this film is pretty basic. We're not even sure exactly what caused this dystopian situation in South Korea, other than the fact that the economy sucks. There's drugs and lots of guns, which sounds like a lot of countries in the world today. But apparently the Korean currency in the world of this film, as I said, tanked in value, and things are so bad that US dollars are the currency of choice in South Korea. Character development, I think, is pretty good, albeit unexceptional. The lead just got out of prison, right? And he did not rat out his friends. He got caught, they didn't, and he didn't rat them out. So that's good. He's got a little bit of honor about him. He wants to immediately rob this gambling den, okay? And his dream is to go to Taiwan, because it's allegedly like Hawaii, and a lot better than Korea, the Korea depicted in this film. It seems like pretty reckless behavior, but he does convince his buddies eventually because of their dire economic situation and the fact that it's a very enticing dream. And the most impactful aspect of these characters, I would say, is that there is a strong sense of camaraderie and brotherhood between them. Some of them are, developed a little bit, but they're not especially deep or complex, but you get the brotherhood aspect, and they have good chemistry together. And you can tell these guys really care about one another. And I really like that. I think it really expressed that well in the film, and helps to add some weight to the thrills when they come up. Now, Time to Hunt has a pretty lengthy runtime, 2 hours and 14 minutes. I think it's paced very well. I do. I like to use the term no nonsense when describing movies that lack dull filler. And Time to Hunt, I think, qualifies. There might be a few little scenes here and there you might want to edit out, but within the opening 15 minutes, our protagonists are scoping out the gambling house, planning things out, and near the 30-minute mark, the thrills and action start to ramp up. So that's not too long to wait. There's some sections in between the thrills, but still, I liked the pacing in this. There are some character moments here and there, even a few creepy dream sequences to kind of mix things up. But at no point in this film was I sitting there bored, at any point. So it kept me engaged, that's big. One of the big reasons to watch this movie are the thriller and action set pieces, which are very well directed. The camera follows the main characters for much of the time. So when the hitman is after him, and he's out of sight, the characters and the viewers start to feel very anxious, because you have no idea where this dude is at. And this hitman's like a badass, right? So you're feeling anxious because you're like, he could be anywhere right now. Like, what are we gonna do? We gotta get out of here. You know what I'm saying? It creates a lot of suspense when our protagonists are slowly making their way through decrepit, abandoned apartments and industrial areas and stuff like that while they're being stalked by this guy. The shootouts are pretty visceral. Very good sound design on the guns and good use of squibs. I think squibs are so important for gun battles because you could see the impact of the bullets. Even though they're not actually shooting bullets, they're shooting blanks. The squibs, are causing a lot of damage, and it makes you feel, like crap is going down. And the protagonists in this film react like normal people. These guys aren't hardened veterans. They're just they have a minimal amount of military experience, like training for the military, right? So these guys are basically terrified when this hitman comes after them, and they're scared for much of the film, and I think that rubs off on the viewer. It adds to the tension. These guys are completely out of their league. They're just trying to survive. You know what I mean? They're just trying to survive the night, right? It has a gritty, deadly vibe to it, this film, and I really found it exciting to watch. The second big thing of this movie is the frickin' lighting. I mean, my goodness, every shot at night that involves the hitman, which is a lot of scenes, is frickin' gorgeous. It's like, there's some nighttime scenes where there's no danger present. It's almost shot normally. But during the thriller scenes, you have like this dark industrial like lighting. You know what I mean? If you've ever been in like certain tunnels that you've driven through that use like those sickly orangish colors, or if you've been in industrial areas or warehouse areas, sometimes they'll use those sickly orange colors. You know what I mean? It's like it's almost like beautiful but kind of hellish at the same time. I really love that like dark tinted orange. I think it should be used in more films because it's pretty kind of disturbing, beautifully disturbing. I think that the few movies that I think come to mind are Spider Forest used it, right, in the tunnel scenes. And then I think the opening scene of the first Tomie movie had that orange lighting, and it was like that sickly orange, it makes you kind of sick. Yeah, more movies need to use this. There are some other deep hues as well in Time to Hunt. There's some blues, reds, greens, and even some yellows at times. The movie looks phenomenal. So that's another big reason. We do get some recognizable actors in these roles. We got Je-hoon Lee, was the lead in Signal, a K-drama that I previously reviewed on this channel. He was also in Phantom Detective. I like this guy as an actor. He's a really good up-and-coming actor, man. His expression of emotion is really good. I like him. Jae-hung An was the supporting actor in Fight My Way, a K-drama that I previously reviewed on this channel. And then Jung-min Park has been in just a bunch of stuff over the years. Now, Je-hoon Lee, Jung-min Park, and the director of Time to Hunt, Sung-hyun, also worked together previously in Bleak Night, the 2011 film, which I previously reviewed on this channel. So if you have not seen Bleak Night, watch it. It's good. This director is really talented. I'm already looking forward to what he does next. Now, outside of some of like the lighter plotting and character development, are there any other possible problems with Time to Hunt? I would say that it does get a bit unrealistic at times, and there are a few contrivances and artificial kind of scenarios here and there to keep the conflict going for a while. You see this all the time in thrillers, right? A lot of times in a thriller movie, it's like, man, this movie should have been over like an hour ago. How are these guys still alive, right? But, it's like, let me give an example from this film. The hitman, at times, does choose to terrorize our protagonists instead of outright killing them. All right, so you're like, well, why would a guy do this, But similar in some ways to Mad Dog from The Raid, right? It's basically explained in one scene with this guy in Time to Hunt. The protagonists at one point ask him, they get a phone call from him, and they ask him, they're like, listen, just let us go, we'll give you what you want. What do you want? And his response is this: I don't want anything. I already have what I want. So basically, dude wants to hunt. You know what I mean? That's what this dude wants. So that's what he's about. You know what I mean? And it's entertaining to watch. The dude is freaking terrifying. The actor who played him, Hae-soo Park, is great in this. He's arguably steals the show every time he shows up. So that's big. So overall, if you're a fan of Korean thrillers, Time to Hunt is a must-watch. I mean, there are criticisms you could level at it. People like, well, the plot's pretty basic, or, the characters are good, but they're not especially deep. I don't care when a movie entertains me as much as this one does. In terms of pure entertainment value, I think this movie's pretty awesome. I want to add it to my physical media collection, but it's not available for physical media purchase. It is on Netflix streaming, though, so it's widely available for you. Definitely check this one out if you like Korean thrillers. And it gets a little violent, but it's not too violent. It's not excessively violent. So, I'm telling you, check it out. And as always, I'll see you next time.